Well, good morning everyone. I'm going to attempt to do this video a little bit different way. I can see there's nothing coming. What I've done, I've come out in the countryside and sat still, and right in the distance, you can't zoom with this camera, is Lincoln, you can see. Found a spot. I'm going to tell you a little tale, but what I've done, I've mounted the camera on the car door. So as long as nothing's coming, I might have to shut it quickly. I can open the door and give you a moving panoramic view, you see. That's what we're doing, right. So I'll just slowly keep doing that. And I just want to tell you a little tale about my classic car. I might have mentioned this in the past. However, I was thinking, I don't know the year exactly. It was either 1970 or 1971. I'm not sure. Anyway, I was definitely working at Horncastle at A Churches, and I was going to see Carl, and he had a Mark 1 or a Frogeye Sprite, which he'd fitted a 1600, brand new 1600 cross-flow engine. He got a few of them, and I helped him do that conversion. Anyway, there was one in Louth for sale, 12 mile away, which he told me about, and so I bought it. It was very rough, and the idea was I was eventually going to do it up. That didn't happen. Anyway, it was the summer of 1970 or 1971. It's quite a nice day out here. There's nothing much about. We're in a quiet spot. So I'll tell you half the tale here, and then we'll have a mooch off somewhere else maybe. But this is a perfect spot to do it, and I think it's better than in the car. So anyway, I bought this blooming Mark 1 Sprite, and I already had it a week, I think, and I was going to Mablethorpe, and it had a soft top and a tonneau cover, and the soft top was held on to the windscreen by a sort of chrome strip that lipped over the top. Well, it blew off. It came undone, blew off, and the top blew back. So I put the tonneau cover on, and I drove it for a couple of weeks with just the tonneau cover, and I didn't get wet, but then it came a rainy spell. So Carl lent me his hard top, and so I had a hard top on it for quite a long while. And then I found one for sale in Long Sutton, so that's down the A17. So I went down there and picked up this hard top, and came back with it on top of his, gave his back and put that one on. So for the rest of the time I had it, you know, it had this hard top on, and it was all right. As I say, I had it for the summer of 1970 or 71. So anyway, as I was saying, I ran it for the summer, and it was a good time, right? But part way through running it, it was actually quite a rough one. You know, we know that. And so, as I say, the idea was that I was supposedly going to restore it, you see. Anyway, that didn't happen. There's a car coming. Don't worry, we're parked. There we are. If I do that, just tip it slightly, you'll get the horizon a bit better, and it wants to be down a fraction. There we are. If it'll just bend it down, that's it. That's better. You can see a little bit more of the horizon now. So anyway, I ran it for that summer, and part way through, I was thrashing about in it, obviously. I mean, there was no speed limits then, no blanket speed limits before that, and I heard a rattle one day, and it was a piston ring that had broken up. So after that, it used an awful lot of oil. But there was the best oil you could buy then, it was Duckham's 2050. That was the best there was. And running it on that, and keeping about 55 mile an hour, it would do about 80 miles to a pint of oil, which was still a lot, but it was bearable, right? It was bearable. Anyway, I've got two tales to tell you about this. One night, I went to the coast in it. Well, I went to the coast nearly every night, and of all things, I had a dance with this girl, and it was near Butlins holiday camp at Ingemalls. And said, "Have you got a car? I'll get you a lift home." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, you can give my mate to lift home." Well, she had 3 mates. Now, so that meant there was 5 people in a very small sports car with a hard top, right? So one of the girls sat behind the seats and another one on top of her, and she sat in the passenger seat with one on top of her, and I was of course in the driver's seat. So we stopped at Butlins holiday camp, and there's a man outside, not a security guard now, but anyway, there's a man outside where you should have seen his face when the 4th girl got out. It was incredible. We didn't have far to go, by the way. It was only like a mile along the front. I might show you sometime. Anyway, that's that bit of the story. But the other one, the last bit, for some reason I had to come to Lincoln in a hurry, and it was a nice day, and they didn't have wind-up windows. They had side screens, and I took the side screens off, so we just had this hard top, and the doors were like open. It was quite good. Anyway, of course I was out of oil. I was always out of oil in it, and so I had to come to Lincoln in a hurry, and they had some very cheap reclaimed oil to Ulster Cross Garage, so I had to buy some of that. And anyway, they don't hold that much. The A-series engines only hold about 4 pints, I think it is, 4.5 pints, something like that. They don't hold a lot. Anyway, I got halfway to Lincoln, which is 30 miles away. So I did 15 miles, and it ran out of oil. And I put the rest in, and that ran out. When I got to Lincoln, I heard it, when I went round a bend, I see the oil pressure gauge go to 0. It did have a gauge, and I heard it rattling tightly, you see. So I bought some more oil, and when I went home at 55 mile an hour, it was back to 80 miles to a pint of oil again, which wasn't too bad. So anyway, I thought you might just like a little bit different view. And that's the tale of the only classic car I've owned, which was, as I say, summer of 1970 or 71. Just a little bit to tell you what's been going on. I had to go up there to have these pictures of my lower innards taken on Monday. They bent over backwards to help me, no complaints there, but the Sunday I couldn't eat much, didn't eat much. Midday I had to stop, more or less, and 3 o'clock I had to take a laxative, and that was the worst bit. And then I didn't sleep at all, and I had to go at 3 o'clock for the second laxative for an appointment at 8:30. Got there slightly early, but then things improved drastically because they anyway, they didn't find anything. That's the good news. This is what I'm telling you. And they couldn't have been better. Care could not have been better. They call nurses angels, and for a good reason. And the doctor as well. It was slightly uncomfortable for a few seconds. That was all. So it wasn't unpleasant at all on the Monday. So I'm just letting you know that they found nothing there. Okay.